Picture two customers walking into the same gym on the same day. The first one is here every morning, sweating on the treadmill, chalk on his hands, towel over his shoulder, a model member. The second one signed up in January. He came twice, felt great about himself, and hasn't walked through the door since. But every single month, the payment leaves his bank account like clockwork. Now, here's the question that runs this entire industry. Which of these two customers does the gym secretly love? It's the second one, the one who never shows up. And once you understand why, you'll see something strange. A gym is not really a fitness business at all. It's a subscription business that just happens to have dumbbells lying around. So let me show you how this whole thing actually works. Because it's a much sneakier machine than it looks. One entrepreneur learned all of this the hard way. He opened gym after gym before he finally cracked the code. We'll get to him. But first, let's start at the beginning. So, you want to own a gym. The plan is simple. Find a building, fill it with treadmills, and watch the memberships roll in. And if you walk into any gym on a weekday evening, it looks like the easiest business on earth. Every machine is taken. There's a line at the front desk. It's loud. You stand there and you think, this place is printing money. Here's the problem. You're looking at the 1 hour of the day that lies to you the most. A full gym and a profitable gym are two completely different things. And I promise this will make sense by the end. A packed gym floor can be the sign of a business that's quietly bleeding out. To see why, we have to stop looking at the crowd and start looking at the money. First surprise. There's no such thing as a gym. There are 5 very different businesses, all dressed in the same tracksuit. At the bottom, you've got the budget gyms, $10 to $25 a month. A building the size of a supermarket, thousands of members, and a skeleton crew. Pure volume. Above that, the traditional gym. Weights, cardio, a few classes, $40 to $70 a month. Above that, the luxury club, $150 a month or more, where you're not really buying a gym, you're buying a lifestyle. Spa, lounge, the whole experience. Then, the boutique studio. 1 small room, 1 style of class, $50 to $150 a month. And finally, the brutal little one, the personal training studio, sometimes just 500 square feet. It doesn't sell memberships at all. It sells your hour with a coach. Every one of these is a bet on the same question. Do you make your money from a huge number of people paying a little, or a small number of people paying a lot? Pick one. That single choice decides every other number in your business. Now, the naive plan says the expensive part is the equipment. It isn't. The expensive part is turning an empty box of a building into a place that can legally hold sweating human bodies. Before you renovate a single thing, the landlord wants 3 to 6 months of rent up front. Then the build-out begins. Rubber flooring that can survive a dropped barbell? $10,000 to $40,000. Showers and locker rooms with real drainage? Another $10,000 to $50,000. Mirrors, floor to ceiling, a few thousand more. And then there's the cost nobody sees coming. Air. A normal shop just isn't built for 100 people breathing hard for hours. You need industrial ventilation. And how much isn't a guess. It's a formula. Building codes require roughly 20 cubic feet of fresh air every minute for every single person exercising. Put 100 people on the floor at peak time, and you're pumping in over 2,000 cubic feet of fresh air every minute. That's not a fan. That's a full ventilation and air conditioning system. $10,000 to $50,000 before you've sold a single membership. Add up the deposit, the build-out, the licenses, the insurance, the opening ads, and a cash cushion to survive those slow first months. And even a modest mid-sized gym can need $300,000 to over $1 million just to unlock the front door. Then comes the equipment. One commercial treadmill? $2,000 to $8,000, and you need a dozen. Strength machines? $1,000 to $5,000 each, and you need 15, maybe 20. All in, the equipment bill for a mid-sized gym lands somewhere between $40,000 and $250,000. So you face the classic fork in the road. Do you buy or do you lease? Buy, and you own it. But you drain your cash exactly when you need it most. And treadmills get pounded to death by daily use. Lease, and your cash stays free, and your gear stays shiny. But you're paying interest, around 8%. So you end up paying far more than the machine was ever worth. And here's the trap. If your gym dies, the lease doesn't die with it. Those payments follow you right out the door. There's no right answer here. But whichever one you choose, you've just signed up for a large, fixed cost. One that has to be paid every single month, whether 10 people walk in that day, or 10,000. Okay, now we get to the idea that explains everything. Remember our two customers. Let's do the actual math on them. The guy who comes 3 times a week? He uses hot water. He wears down the treadmill belt. He needs towels washed, and he takes up floor space at the busiest hour, which annoys other members and nudges them toward quitting. Every visit costs the gym a little real money and a little real capacity. The January ghost? The one who never came back. No hot water, no towel, no wear, no crowding. His cost to the business is basically 0. And every month, his payment lands and flows straight to the bottom line. Here's the number that should stop you. Industry data shows that around 2 out of every 3 gym members, rarely or never, use the gym they're paying for. Read that again. Most of a budget gym's revenue comes from people who aren't even exercising there. That's not a glitch. That is the business model. Think about the building itself. A gym with 7,000 members could never fit them all inside. The fire code caps the floor at maybe 2 or 300 people. If even 10% showed up at once, you'd have 700 bodies, fighting over a room built for 250. It would be shut down in minutes. So the gym isn't selling you a room. It's selling a statistical bet that most members won't come at the same time, and a huge chunk won't come at all. Which means a gym doesn't secretly want everyone to become a daily regular. A gym full of regulars would need a bigger, pricier building, with monster utility bills, just to serve the exact same number of paying customers. That forgotten membership, the one sitting quietly on a bank statement, is one of the most profitable customers a gym will ever have. Now, this whole thing runs on a calendar, and it all points at 1 month. Roughly 12% of a gym's entire year of sign-ups happen in January alone. New Year's resolutions, so gyms attack it. Slashed joining fees, cheap trials, a wall of advertising crammed into just a few weeks. That 1 month can hand an owner a giant pile of cash and a wave of fresh monthly billing. But the wave that rushes in, rushes right back out. About half of all new members stop showing up within 6 months. And of the January resolution crowd specifically, up to 80% have vanished by the time summer arrives. February is the deadliest month of all. The moment motivation dies, before a habit is ever born. The smart owners plan for this. They treat that January surge as a reserve, something to carry them through the quiet summer. The owners who go broke are the ones who spend that windfall like it's the new normal. Instead of a spike, that was always going to fade. So why do people keep paying for something they don't use? Partly, it's optimism. The membership feels like a promise to a better, future version of yourself. Partly, it's what economists call a commitment device. You pay so that you'll feel forced to go. And partly, it's pure inertia. Because canceling means admitting the plan failed. And for $20 a month, most people would rather just not. And the gym leans on this. Hard. Notice something? Leaving a gym is never as easy as joining one. Many contracts make you cancel in writing, in person, or by certified mail. They demand 30 to 60 days of notice, which guarantees at least one more month of your money. And when a card simply expires and a payment fails, that alone drives 30 to 40% of all cancellations, which is why gyms run entire teams whose only job is to chase down failed payments before you drift away. Regulators have noticed. The Federal Trade Commission tried to force a click-to-cancel rule. The idea was simple. Canceling should be as easy as signing up. A federal court struck it down, and the agency restarted the process. And some governments have started pushing for stronger cancellation protections, arguing that ending a subscription should be as easy as starting one. And that tells you everything. If a gym truly survived on happy, active members, it wouldn't need to make leaving this painful. The friction is the confession. The business already knows that a huge share of its revenue comes from people who wish they could stop paying. So, can a business built on ghost members actually last? Sometimes, no. And the way they die is the whole lesson. Meet Bally Total Fitness. At its peak, the biggest health club chain in America. Its model looked like genius. Lock members into multi-year contracts, financed like a car loan, and you've got your revenue guaranteed in advance. So how does the largest fitness chain in the country go bankrupt? Not once, but twice. Inside a single stretch? Not because people stopped wanting to work out. The aggressive contracts triggered lawsuits and accounting investigations. The empire was built on debt and promises instead of real member value. And when the pressure hit, the whole thing folded. Bally filed for bankruptcy in 2007, again in 2008, and then got sold off, for parts. 24-Hour Fitness? Same story. It didn't collapse because people stopped exercising. It collapsed under too much debt for its actual cash flow. And here's the point of both. Neither died because nobody wanted a membership. They died because the math broke. The math connecting fixed costs, rent, and debt to reliable revenue. A gym with thousands of members and a packed parking lot can be one bad debt structure away from insolvency. The crowd on the floor tells you nothing about whether the money underneath can actually hold. But here's the thing. Some entrepreneurs only learn how this business really works after they've almost lost everything. Alex Hormozi is one of them. Before he became a multi-millionaire, Hormozi started out doing exactly what you're imagining. He opened his own gyms, and from the outside, it looked like a simple formula. Get members, collect monthly payments, grow. But the reality was different. Rent, payroll, equipment, operating costs. They kept draining money every month, whether the gym was full or empty. And he learned the lesson at the center of this whole video. Owning a gym isn't about having the best equipment. It's about understanding the numbers behind the business. So instead of only chasing more low-paying memberships, he flipped the question. How do you create more value from each customer you already have? That single shift led him to build Gym Launch, a company that helped gym owners fix their marketing, their sales, and how they brought members in. And his story points at the real lesson. The biggest opportunity in fitness isn't always owning the biggest gym. It's understanding the business behind it. So how does a healthy gym make it work? The core engine is brutally simple. Monthly dues, times members, minus fixed costs. Say your fixed costs: rent, payroll, equipment, utilities, insurance, run about $30,000 a month, and you charge $89 a head. That means you need around 337 members just to break even. Below that number, you lose money every single month. Above it, each new member is almost pure profit. Because remember, the ghost member costs you nothing. But new gyms don't hit that number on day one. It can take 12 to 18 months to get there. And every one of those months burns the cash you set aside. And membership isn't a stable number either. Churn runs at 30 to 40% a year. Lose 5% a month, and you have to sign 300 new people just to stand still. That's not growth. That's running in place, which is why the smart gyms lean on a second engine, one with far better economics: personal training. But one trainer, working one-on-one, hits a ceiling. Around $100,000 a year. There are only so many hours in a day. So they break that ceiling. Put 4 clients in one session, each paying $40. And suddenly, that single hour brings in $160. Double the rate, while each client actually pays less. That's the whole reason small group training exploded. One dedicated training client can be worth dozens of members who barely swipe their card. So let's play it out over a full year. Get it right. The right neighborhood, low churn, a strong training program, and a mid-sized gym can pull $500,000 to $1.5 million in revenue, and pay its owner somewhere between $70,000 and $180,000 a year. A real business, but get it slightly wrong. Churn on the high end. A budget chain opens 2 miles away. Repair bills start creeping up. And that same gym slides from a comfortable profit into a loss. And the swing between those two futures? It can be over $100,000 in a single year. And here's the eerie part. None of it shows up as a dramatic event. No fire, no scandal, just a slightly higher cancellation rate, a slightly slower ramp, a slightly heavier repair bill, all of it compounding, quietly, month after month, until the bottom line looks nothing like the plan. All while the parking lot outside still looks full. So if you ever do open a gym, remember the one thing that actually decides whether you make it. It was never about how many people you can get to sign up. It's about how well you can survive on the people who stop showing up.